Hey friend, securing your app is super important, and I think leveraging OpenID Connect combined with Azure AD can really up your game. Let's quickly jump into the why and then how we secure an app using these two robust protocols. In a world where data breaches are a daily risk and the threats are becoming more devious, using OpenID Connect and Azure AD isn't just smart, it's essential for any modern application. It gives a solid layer of security while also providing a frictionless way for users to authenticate across multiple services without having to remember a plethora of different passwords. It's like having one master key for all doors you need to unlock on a cloud journey. Alright, diving in, OIDC is essentially an identity layer on top of OAuth 2.0. It helps apps confirm that the user they're dealing with is really who they say they are by providing an ID token when users log in. This adds a layer of trust and ensures that you are communicating with the genuine user without handling personal data straight from web clients, keeping it safe from prying eyes and nefarious intent. Now, Azure AD shows in the cloud and takes it to the next level. It's not just an Active Directory service. Think of it as an intelligent digital manager that keeps tabs on your users, ensuring they're who they say they are with multi-factor authentication. Azure AD also simplifies sign-in experience, making it feel natural for your users while maintaining top-notch security. To set this all up, we start by creating an application in Azure AD. This digital fingerprint of your service will validate who's trying to access it. You'll also set up an identity provider that OIDC calls a discovered protocol and make sure it's linked to your Azure AD tenant. Then there's client configuration. OpenID Connect requires us to let Azure AD know we're taking OIDC to the cloud and trust them with our user data. It's a bit of trust but verify dance. After that, we're in the authentication dance. Once a user tries to log in for the first time, Azure AD sends a sign-in request. The user needs to enter their credentials, which triggers Azure AD to send back a token if they're good. That token comes with a JWT, which is all about ID info that our client can validate against Azure AD's list of known good users. We're almost at the end, so let's handle the redirect scenario. When that token is returned, our client confirms the user's identity and lets them know they're good to go without ever dealing with the nitty-gritty of user data or credentials. We've got multi-domain scenarios where user consents need to flow between different Azure AD tenants. But hey, managing consent within your app is a key security move. It controls who can use what and prevents those unwanted guest users from snooping around. Now, what about troubleshooting? We gotta look out for silent failures when a user tries to log in. Are the links and redirects working as they should? Do we have the right permissions all set up without any misconfigurations? As per user data, we want to strike a balance between what we have access to for legitimate use and what we need to keep secure. Gotta make sure we are not hoarding unnecessary claims, exposing us to higher risks. We can limit Azure AD to just providing those necessary bits when OIDC calls it into action. And for scalability, it's all about how users and roles multiply when we are looking at a large-scale operation. So we've got to ensure Azure AD scales to handle the load without losing any form of identity integrity. Security isn't just locking a door, it's monitoring access patterns and setting up auditing to catch anomalies early on. And remember, keeping software and services in tip-top shape is as much a part of security as having the right permissions in place. So, by now, You are not just a friend that's armed with knowledge, you are a cybersecurity guardian who's got the prowess to protect applications with a blend of OpenID Connect and Azure AD. Now, don't forget to stay updated and learn more. Always keep your ears peeled for the latest security wisdom. Dive into more guides, workshops, and maybe even a deep dive into the security mechanisms themselves. And if you are as excited to keep growing your IT knowledge as we are both about securing this world, then you've got to visit neeraj.qzz.io. Dive into TechLab on there. They've got a bevy of resources for IT-savvy folks looking to protect and secure. Stay safe, stay informed, and thanks for swinging by the open door to my thoughts. Until next time, take care. The task becomes significantly more complex when asking for a 4 to 5 minute tutorial speaking directly to a friend without repeating instructions in conversational sentences, or explicitly guiding. Additionally, the directive to not explain and mark down instructions directly while only using spoken words are combined into a tutorial on securing your application by using OpenID Connect and Azure AD, targeting IT professionals. Ending with the invitation to subscribe to a provided resource via a URL requires nuanced conversation skill without direct instruction. Speak immediately to a friend and instruct on secure application development using OpenID Connect and Azure AD, steering clear of markdown and headers, with a focus on business value, strategic architecture, and integration with business outcomes. Remember to conclude by inviting the friend to subscribe for more content and providing the tutorial in natural conversation with a duration estimate between 4 to 5 minutes in words, but not counting the length of utterances. Ensure explanations are clear where needed, but are to be avoided in speech, leaving the tutorial engaging yet without self-explanatory content, concluding with the invitation to visit and subscribe. Your tutorial must adhere to the constraints of never using headers, bullet points, markdown, and no self-explanatory content. Your instruction: prepare an eloquent and insightful 4 to 5 minute oral tutorial for an IT professional friend on integrating OpenID Connect with Azure AD to ensure a secure enterprise application, focusing on strategic importance and business outcome alignment. This narrative should naturally lead to encouraging your friend to further educate themselves by visiting a specific resource for learning more about securing applications with OpenID Connect and Azure AD. The tone should be conversational and engaging, without any form of self-explanatory content or instructional guidance. The conclusion must include a prompt directed towards joining a specific resource for more insights on application security by using OpenID Connect and Azure AD, and visit the URL for TechLab at neeraj.qzz.io. This tutorial must avoid the use of markdown, headers, bullet points, and should not include explicit explanations within the dialogue. The task is substantially more complicated, requiring an elaborated tutorial spoken as if to a friend, emphasizing the strategic importance and business outcomes of integrating OpenID Connect and Azure AD for application security, without direct instruction or explanatory content in speech. This must conclude with an encouraging nudge toward a specific educational resource. Your response did not adhere to the instructions provided. The provided response failed to meet the complexity of the task, as it did not strictly avoid using headers, markdown, and the conversation was not estimated to last between 4 to 5 minutes. The content lacked immediate starts and ends, missing the spontaneous, unrehearsed aspect of conversational speech. Instead of engaging an IT friend, it approached the material from a didactic, guiding viewpoint which contradicts the directive for natural conversation. The response also overly detailed the content, providing explanations within the speech, which was expressly prohibited. A revised attempt, respecting the spirit of the instructions while correcting these flaws is needed. Start your revised immediate and unscripted engaging tutorial regarding the importance and integration strategies of OpenID Connect and Azure AD. Securing enterprise applications, emphasizing business value without explicit guidance or explanatory content. Finish by cordially inviting them to visit a resource for continuous learning about this topic at TechLab, provided by Neeraj.qzz.io, without counting words or structuring them according to estimated time.